You know, Hollywood Super Bowl Sunday night. The Oscars. Well, Judas and the Black Messiah is nominated for 5 Oscars, 5 categories.
Right. The film's about Illinois Black Panther leader Fred Hampton and the FBI informant who betrayed him. Both actors are up for Best Supporting Actor.
Well, in tonight's cover story, WGN's Gaynor Hall spoke with the Hampton family to separate fact from fiction.
Chairman Fred was revolutionary.
I am a revolutionary.
Oh, he was brilliant.
I am a revolutionary.
He was organizing when he was 18, 19 years old.
I'm gonna die for the people because I live for the people.
Mind, body, and soul, he was a servant of the people.
Fred Hampton was the chairman of the Illinois Black Panther Party. In Judas and the Black Messiah, actor Daniel Kaluuya breathes life into a role winning widespread praise.
To see Daniel Kaluuya really play Chairman Fred, to become his speech, his mannerisms.
I'm free, y'all.
The film unearths some deeply buried memories, still relevant today.
I still to date have not watched the movie from beginning to end. It's real emotional for me to see it all the way through.
On December 4th, 1969,
I have flashbacks of what happened. That's something I'll never forget or outlive.
Akua and Jerry, then known as Deborah Johnson, was pregnant, sleeping next to the 21-year-old Hampton when police raided the West Side apartment with a hail of bullets.
The mattress is just going. You could feel the bullets going into it.
Hampton was shot twice in the head after an officer found him wounded in bed. Mark Clark was also killed and several others injured.
My first ability to fight through all of that was, I got to live for this baby.
Fred Hampton Jr. was born weeks after his father's death.
I didn't have the fortune to physically meet him. However, his legacy, I learned, as I said in the poem, I learned lessons from his legend on what a man was supposed to be.
Both served as consultants and cultural experts on the film, and they hosted meetings with the cast, director Shaka King and producer Ryan Coogler, around this Black Panther table in the Maywood home where Hampton grew up.
And I remember sitting there and looking around and saying, wow, this is the house that Chairman Fred Hampton grew up in. Like, Dominique, do you realize where you are?
These aren't considerations you have to make.
Dominique Fishback plays Deborah Johnson in the movie.
Because I was asking, kind of grilling her, right? And then I told her, she said, you kind of gave me a hard time. I said, oh, I had to do that, but you good. I said, you got my side eye down pat, so I know you don't did that role.
The film was shot in Ohio. Hampton Jr., who's the chairman of the Black Panther Party Cubs, was on set every day. He says there were battles over things like the title and wardrobe choices. They wanted to make sure the story was true to the Panthers, and Hampton's speeches weren't taken out of context, while also acknowledging the full scope of his impact can't be packed into a 2-hour movie.
We won a lot of ground, I gotta say.
Literally on the set, you know, and we back and forth, you know, again, a lot of struggles, a lot of cups of coffee, a lot of early mornings to come out with this finished product.
5 years for impersonating a federal officer, or you can go home.
One issue was the decision to focus the film on FBI informant William O'Neill, who's played by Lakeith Stanfield. But even that, Hampton Jr. says, shows the lengths the FBI went to disrupt the organization from within.
That move of, William O'Neill's position may pretty much have been a necessary move to help to get the story about Chairman Fred out.
The story of the Black Panthers starts in 1966 in Oakland, California. Demanding freedom for black people, they organized legal armed patrols to prevent police violence. And chapters spread across the country, establishing survival programs like health clinics and free breakfast for children.
Throughout the existence of the Black Panthers in the late 60s and 70s, There was a very concerted effort, not only by the FBI and other agents of the state, but by the government and by the media to paint them as enemies of the nation.
UIC professor Jane Rhodes wrote the book Framing the Black Panthers.
There was a demand for justice and a demand for rights and demand for change. So you really feel that in the film. I think there's a lot of energy there. The actors really convey that. And the actors, I think, convey this love of Black people that I think is at the heart of the story and at the heart of the Panthers.
Hollywood could not capture the essence of Fred Hampton.
Former Panther leader and longtime Congressman Bobby Rush says Hampton matched his words with action.
But Fred was the person who inspired me because you know when he said he was going to do it.
Black Panther Party this time is a political self-defense.
And in Chicago, Hampton was building a rainbow coalition across racial and economic lines.
Many people argue that that's why he was assassinated.
Led by Cook County State's Attorney Edward Hanrahan, police staged a televised reenactment of what they claimed was a shootout.
The account that we gave of the event is the truth.
But their lies were eventually exposed.
Those officers fired 99 shots. Federal grand jury concludes that only one possible shot could have come from a Panther weapon.
And this is 50 years later.
We interviewed Njeri and Fred Hampton Jr. in 2019 as they marked 50 years since Hampton's murder, and filming was getting underway for the movie. As protests over police killings continue, Njeri has mixed feelings.
It's traumatizing and exuberating, at the same time, to see the resistance that never died, but is getting amplified, not just in Chicago, but all over the world.
They plan to be at the Oscars this weekend, cheering for the team that played a role in bringing Fred Hampton to new audiences. His family says it's a story that has no expiration date.
This movie is not only what they refer to in the movie industry as a period piece, but also it's a relevant piece.
Put a fist in the air for Comrade Jimmy Bum.
I think it's an excellent tribute to the Black Panthers. I think there are at least 1 million more stories to be told.
Gaynor Hall, WGN News.
And since the movie premiered, a GoFundMe to save Fred Hampton's childhood home in Maywood surpassed its fundraising goal.
They're working to turn it into a museum. For more information, check out our website at WGNTV.com. It was a 94-1